You're watching Pulse, and this is episode 88. In this week's StarCraft news, we take a look at a ton of tournament and event updates, the upcoming changes being made to the GSL, the joint pro house in Stockholm, KellyMilkies in FHM, and much more. Let's get to the news. Just in case the 21st of May isn't circled on your calendar already, here's a quick reminder that BlizzCon 2011 tickets will be going on sale Saturday at 7 PM CEST. So yes, keep your eye on the ticket sales page on Saturday for the chance to get yours. Also, it's always interesting seeing how fast they sold out afterwards, so check back here soon for more talk on that. Blizzard also just remind us that if we are unable to purchase tickets tomorrow, a second batch will go on sale on Thursday, the 26th of May. In addition to that, tickets to an exclusive pre-BlizzCon dinner to benefit the Children's Hospital of Orange County will also go on sale on Saturday, the 28th of May. And lastly, for those unable to attend the show, in-depth coverage of BlizzCon will be available through the BlizzCon virtual ticket. I can personally vouch for the BlizzCon virtual ticket, it works like a charm. BlizzCon is still a couple of months off though, set to take place on the 21st and 22nd of October. Still, though, that's no reason not to get excited. Read more below, and if you're planning on attending and buying one of those tickets, good luck. Blizzard's newest StarCraft novel, Devil's Due by Christie Golden, continues the story of Jim Raynor and Tychus Finlay following the previous novel, Heaven's Devils, which saw the duo stand against the corruption of the Confederacy and branded as outlaws. Now Blizzard are asking us to put our pens to paper, brushes to canvas, or styluses to tablets, I guess, and dream up what a wanted poster would look like for these two anti-heroes. For our efforts, we'll be eligible to win one of quite a few pretty impressive prizes, the biggest of which, to me at least, is having our poster featured in an upcoming Blizzard game. That would indeed be quite an honor. First to fourth place will also be receiving various StarCraft novels, past and present, some of which will even be signed by the authors. That does sound like a lot of fun, and I sure hope Blizzard show off all those winning entries when the time comes. You can read more about that below. As I mentioned in the previous StarCraft Pulse episode, the GSL May Codes Grand Finals did in fact happen last weekend between IM Nestea and OGS Inca. So, after a long and arduous journey, one player reigns supreme and claims the title of Global StarCraft 2 League Champion. One Zerg player. Congratulations to IM Nestea on his GSL May triumph. It is indeed well deserved. He actually managed a straight 4-0 win over Inca, showing that his first win of a couple of months ago was not just a fluke. So if you, like me, can't or couldn't wait to watch those VODs, you can sign up for the GOM TV premium service below to check them out. There are also a couple of interesting interviews with the players, and as you can see on your screens right now, quite a few photos to look at. You can find that all below. That's not all for the GSL news though. The GSTL or Global StarCraft Team League May started up and finished this past week, with quite a few exciting games played in it. Newcomers MVP and previous victors Slayers were the two teams to make it through to the finals, and the entire series between these two teams was so close all the way through that some are calling these the best StarCraft 2 games played to date. Yes, it was that good, and they are that worth checking out. But who won though? After equalizing the series at 4-4, Slayers was the team to score that all-important last win. Exciting stuff. You can find the full battle reports of the finals and the full results from the rest of the event below. Next up is what is perhaps the biggest GSL news of the week. The GOM TV guys recently announced that some pretty huge changes would be coming to their Codes, Code, Up and Down, and GSTL for the next season. Starting in July, the Codes will be switching to a dual tournament system, just like that of the MSL's Round of 32 format. Players will still be divided into groups, but of the 4 players in each Codes group, only the bottom player will be dropped down to the Up and Down matches to fight to retain their spot in Codes. The top 2 players will move on in the tournament, and the 3rd place will stay exactly where he is in Codes. What some are saying is probably the biggest thing here is what I mentioned last week, that 2 lucky players, or I guess 2 players that are in fact really good at StarCraft 2, the winner of MLG, or runner-up if the winner declines, as well as the winner of the Code A, will be placed directly into Code S. Yes, I really can't wait to see who takes that number 1 at MLG. Code A didn't really change very much. There were a few minor date and time changes though. In the actual up and down matches, 8 players from Code S will duke it out with 7 players from Code A. Yes, that's 15, and in groups of 5, to see who will go where in the next season. And lastly, the GSTL format changes. Up until now, the Team League has spanned across only 4 days, but starting with the next season, it'll be transformed into a full league, with 10 pro teams in Korea divided into 2 groups of 5. Those 10 teams will battle it out through the entire season, aiming for the top 3 spots in each group to be able to advance to the playoffs. Some pretty big stuff that, so if you didn't know, now you do, and you'll be ready for the next season of the GSL. You can read all about it below. Now for the always interesting and always entertaining GSL extras. First up, you can check out an interesting thread over at Team Liquid that was started up by Beastie Cutie, asking why there's no GSTL or something equivalent to that in the West. Then Moletrap has been pretty busy recently filming, taking photos, and just being generally silly. You can check his coverage of the GSL finals and GSTL finals out below. The groups for the GSL Super Tournament have been announced, and you can check where all those 64 players have been placed. And lastly, it seems like HeyPro has left Korea and is heading back to the new joint pro gaming house in Stockholm. I'll talk more about that later in this episode though. The TSL3 also recently reached its climax. As I mentioned last week, Naniwa battled it out against Thorzane and, to many viewers' surprise, lost. Yes, it came down to the very last game in this epic clash of titans, and Thorzane proved that he was the better, or luckier player on the day. Congratulations to Mao's Thorzane, the Team Liquid Star League 3 champion. It was indeed another very deserving win, and it's great to see someone finally take Naniwa down for once. As an extra to all of this, you can see a couple of interviews with the finalists and a recap of the 3rd and 4th place playoff linked below. Pretty interesting stuff. In the NASL updates, there's not very much this week. You can obviously find the results for all the games up until week 6, day 2 linked below. Yes, they've entered week 6 already. It's crazy. As an extra, you can read how Total Biscuit has apparently been spicing things up a little on the stream. He was even caught singing a StarCraft 2 version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme. What a nutter. Great entertainment though, and lastly, it seems like Cats might have accidentally leaked some results before the games even happened. Oh, the drama. You can check all of that out below too. Then a couple of smaller pieces of tournament and event news. No, not the smalls yet, just a few smaller pieces. Assembly Summer has been announced and will run from August the 4th to the 7th in Helsinki, Finland. There are very few details about the event right now, but you can see a list of the first 7 players that have been invited below, so that's something. Then 8 more invites have been sent out for DreamHack Summer, Huck and Jinro being 2 of them. The official list of participants in pool play have been announced for MLG Columbus, and it seems like we'll be blessed with the casting of Tasteless and Artosis for the event. Yes, along with Day 9, JP and DJ Wheat, that'll be one to remember. Lastly, in these pre-small smalls, there are also a few updates to be read about the IGN Pro League's 2nd season qualifiers, which can all be found below. I'll probably cover these all fully when all the results are in. So with that done, let's check out the tournament and event smalls. In the tournament and event smalls, it seems like the guys from World Cyber Games have extended their online qualification dates. ESWC 2011's RTS games have been announced and StarCraft 2 is on the list. The next Champions Trophy is happening on the North American server this Sunday. Druby managed to win the first North American Zotac Cup. ESL is hosting a €9,000 event in Valencia. And lastly, White Ra managed to win the FX Open King of the Hill. There's quite a lot of Team Liquid related news going around this week, so let's start our community news with that. A little gem that I missed last week that was actually posted on the new Liquid Pro site was an update on what's going on with a joint pro house in Stockholm. Yes, the very same one I mentioned before. Shio, Morrow, Bishu, Maven, and now apparently HeyPro are set to join TLO in what I feel is one of the nicer, if slightly different pro houses to date. Below you can check out a few video interviews with all those players. You can see a video tour of the house and all the photos that you just saw on your screen right now in full size. In some more TLO news, the German StarCraft 2 Pro is aiming to do a 24-hour streaming marathon with the hopes of raising money for the Doctors Without Borders charity organization. Not much more needs to be said about that, other than how handsome TLO looks in his doctor getup, but that was a given. The stream will start at 10 AM CET on Sunday the 22nd of May and will carry on for at least 24 hours, ending on Monday. Sounds good. As a quick extra, you can also check out a really cool comic below of the TSL3 finals titled A Very Good Day, and you can read about the first, new and improved episode of TL Attack that's set to happen this weekend too. So if you are in fact interested in any of that, you can find it all over at teamliquid.net or in the links below. I'm sure you all remember KellyMilkies, right? The former GSL Code caster. She has made quite a name for herself in the community and, well, now things just got a little better. KellyMilkies Ong has been featured somewhere you wouldn't really expect a StarCraft 2 commentator to be featured. An issue of FHM. You can and probably should check the full images out below along with a short interview with the lady herself. I was just as shocked as you, don't worry. First up in our image and video updates for the week, we have Day 9 Beanie's humorous self with another unit, or rather this time building impersonation. Can you guess what it is? Check the video out right here on YouTube to see. Then we have QXC Dancing. Yes, the talents that some of these StarCraft players have never ceased to amaze. Next, in the first of our image updates, this pretty amazing wallpaper of a Baneling rush. Definitely a keeper. So then, a few Idra funnies. Idra and Deezer had a bit of a run-in recently, and you can see the interesting chat logs about that below. Yes, Deezer seems to be in everyone's bad books at the moment. And then once again, Idra and Cruncher had another engagement. And lastly, in our Idra watch, we have Idra hanging out in the Destiny fan channel on Battle.net. Nice. Then we have another image here. Well, yes, how is this StarCraft related? This is Lil Susie, for those that didn't know. She used to shoutcast with Tasteless back in the day. Quite, interesting. Last up, before heading into the smalls, here's a Banshee made of Lego. Lego and StarCraft were made for each other, that's for sure. So with that done, let's head on over to the community smalls. First up, over at the official site, you can check out Comlink Online number 20 and a poll titled Shaken, Not Stirred. Then a bunch of interesting posts and articles. Why exactly do people enjoy watching StarCraft? That's over at Kotaku. The problem with Korea, a Team Liquid poster has discovered that drones actually suffer from a disadvantage compared to the other workers. You can check out the slightly unofficial teamliquid.net Magic the Gathering set that a fan made. Don't forget to check out the latest episode of Inside the Game. There's a cool thread with a few StarCraft related jokes titled So, an SCV over at Team Liquid. You can read about a potential new show titled Swarm School. Then you can check out a grubby interview, an interview with the Korean mappers, an interview with Liquid Tyler, an interview with MLG's Lee Chen. Greetop has parted ways with Fnatic MSI. Then there's a pretty interesting video you can check out titled Players as StarCraft 2 Units. First up is Action Jesus. Then you can check out an incredibly silly Destiny game between himself and Moonglade where they're both 6-pool. Next you can see a Chinese StarCraft trailer featuring a CG rabbit. Huck apparently doesn't have a heart, not anymore. Day 9 is happy to be in Korea, and there's a bunch of interesting Brother Mac stuff up, and I really do mean interesting. Be sure to check that out right here on YouTube. Sadly, that's all there is for Pulse 88. As always, thanks for watching, liking the video, favoriting it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing. If you're bored, you can also check out my latest 1-minute guide for Terran this time. I'll annotate that somewhere on the screen right now. But most importantly, happy StarCrafting.